It's getting boring. Scatters that neon. Oh my god, this game is boring. I almost quit, but I'm so close to the end. I mean, come on. How close are we? So, blah 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 blah. You know what I should do? Let's play some YouTube. I don't know if I can play Taskmaster if I can copyright it. What can I see? Can I see a podcast maybe? Liberal Democrat podcast. I'm sure I'm gonna freaking not like this. Alright. Where's it at? Play? What's this Brexit shit? What the fuck? 99 episodes? When was this? January 21? But nobody cares about the Brexit vote. Is this like a different country? Whatever. Let's see
if you're on the same side as Nigel Farage. I think you must hold your nose and just
you have to take yourself, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Am I really in the right place right now? Is what you should.
Are we the baddies? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's the line. Hello and welcome to the Lib Dem podcast. We are very happy to have two wonderful guests to talk about something that's very significant that's coming up, because it is soon to be the 40th anniversary of the Limehouse Declaration. And so, who better? And a book is coming out, and you can pre-order right now. I've been told I have to say that, called The Future of Social Democracy. And with us we have the Vice Chair of the Social Democrats, which is Michael Mullaney. Hi, Michael.
Hi, John. You right?
I'm very well, thank you. And back again, after nearly a year out of the podcast, we have Wendy Chamberlain, the MP for North East Fife. How are you doing, Wendy?
Hi, John. I'm very well, thanks.
So Wendy actually co-edited this book as well. But I think, Wendy, why don't we start with you? Why don't you describe the book, what it sets out to do, and why you've got involved in it, really?
Well, I was approached to get involved with it because I had described myself as a social democrat, and I think I was one of the only MPs in the current cohort who'd said that specifically.
What the fuck is it? What is a social democrat? What is a social democrat? That's just a socialist. Yeah, socialist, right there. Social system of government. Basically a socialism. What the fuck? You can't just say I'm a socialist democrat without saying that I'm a socialist. I'm trying to get socialist system enabled. That's just Democrats being fucking retarded. Or lying. God damn these socialist Democrats. AKA socialists. God damn. How does liberal equal socialists? Liberal is like freedom from the government. Democrat means you have a choice. Social Democrats is to replace Democrat with socialism through Democrat ways. But basically you're changing to a socialism. Which is fucking stupid. That is just socialism. Stupid. I knew I'd hate him. This
That's sort of, for all that I'm proud to be a Liberal as well, I think it's really important that we recognise the heritage that the party has, and the Limehouse Declaration is clearly a very significant part in Social Democrat history in the UK, so really important that we mark it. And I think, and Vince Cable sets this out very well in the sort of introductory chapter, in some ways social democracy is seen in some respects in a bit of retreat, though obviously yesterday with the inauguration of Joe Biden you would like to think that potentially different things are going to happen. So really important, I think, to restate social democracy, what it stands for, what it's about, the radical aspects of it, and actually when radical social democratic policies have been taken forward, the really positive.
Socialism is a radical thing to promote. Each damage received by your battleship hull will reduce your topmost. Nope. Deployed quadrant during back less 30% health will regain speed. That's a drone and a cruiser. Drone and a cruiser, so let's see better. 2 drones and 2 cruisers. Obviously, we have extras of those. We don't want to buy another one. Just sell something. Good. I think this is the new one. Target unit enter stealth mode. Right there. Sector 2 of 3. So there we are right here. Close to the exit, and we're almost to the end.
Impact that they've had in people's lives, not just in the UK, but elsewhere in the world.
You guys are boring. Social Democrats. There's a fucking channel for them. Huh. Good one. Let's see these fucking nuts. Mother and baby homes. Holy Charlotte.
Thank you, Orla. Today's apology is welcome, and it is decades overdue. It comes after decades of silence, decades of shame, decades of misogynistic control.
Misogynistic control. You fucking bitches. Abuse perpetrated by state authorities, church and government. Oh, fuck you, you lying.
And abuse perpetuated and facilitated by state authorities, the church, and government after government after government.
Wait.
Ireland's history of using shame and fear to control women and their bodies is truly horrifying in its scale and impact. In 2018, I began knocking on doors for the abortion rights referendum in Cork South West.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to expect, what kind of reception that we get. In every town and village came story after story after story. Women often in their 70s and 80s would stand outside and tell us about the girls and women who disappeared from their lives. Their best friend from school, their cousin, their aunt, abandoned, shamed, left at the mercy of the state and the church. On those same nights, we'd knock on another door to hear, but if this comes in, what'll stop the young ones? What'll stop them from sleeping around every weekend and getting an abortion every Monday? It's still here. It hasn't left us. The fear of girls and women and this desire to control their lives and their bodies. But this we narrative around this report needs to be addressed. Yes, society played a part, but this abuse was clearly facilitated and carried out by a powerful state and a powerful religious order who tolerated no opposition. This was a country that virtually outlawed sex outside of marriage. This was public policy. There was no sex education, a ban on contraception, no access to abortion, and virtual immunity for rapists. Pregnancies were inevitable. And when they happened, the girls and women were left with nowhere else to go except these institutions. In these institutions, the worst forms of abuse and neglect were systematically carried out. The scale of infant deaths is incomprehensible. It borders on mass murder. Not only was the state aware of this, but it continued to fund and manage the homes, and the religious orders profited from this horrendous cruelty and systematic abuse. That an organisation who facilitated the worst kinds of human rights violations imaginable still has any hand, act or part in our schools and hospitals is deeply disturbing. Then the government departments and church officials denied these realities, further abused survivors and opposed any chance of justice until the discovery of almost 600 babies buried in a septic tank in Tuam forced government to establish the commission. There are no words for this cascade of misogyny, abuse and criminality perpetuated against women and their children. The last thing survivors need is inadequate apologies from more men in positions of power. They deserve justice, they deserve genuine contrition from church and state, and they deserve complete and unreserved redress.
Look,
the shame used to control and incarcerate women and children for the so-called crime of getting pregnant was endemic, and it was misplaced. It is time we redirect the shame to where it belongs. Shame on the people who committed these horrendous crimes, shame on the religious orders who oversaw it, and shame on successive governments facilitating it and condoning it. If we are to genuinely respond to this report, we must ensure survivors are given redress, that justice is vigorously pursued, and that people and organisations who committed these crimes are pursued and prosecuted. Shame on us if we settle for anything less.
Shame on you for fucking lying all the time. No actual facts.
The publication of the report into the mother and baby homes marks a hugely important point in our country's history and path towards justice for all our citizens. While the women and the children in those homes and institutions have never had any doubt of the abuses and the horrors that took place behind those doors, this report now brings together many of those stories, those lived experiences, and lays them bare for us all to see. The injustices and horrors that were forced on women by the hands of the state and the church, hands that should have been there to help and support and take care of, they are a stark reminder of our dark side. The report was harrowing to read, but for that to be your actual life experience, for that to have been your introduction to motherhood, to a period that should have been joyful, must have been devastating. I'd like to acknowledge the bravery of the survivors, their children, the survivors groups, and in particular to the tireless work of Catherine Corliss and Philomena Lee, women who never stopped fighting for their own children and the children of others. Your strength shines through the pages of that report. I would also like to remember those that did not survive to see today, those babies and women and families that aren't around to hear this debate and discussion and apology, and I am so sorry. Taoiseach, yesterday in your response to the report, you said, the regime described in the report wasn't imposed on us by any foreign power, we did this to ourselves as a society. This is a sentiment and a theme that unfortunately runs through the Commission report itself. The report talks about how institutions provided...
No, we might not want to tell him that we killed his son. Try to fight. You misunderstand, I want to kill you. It's the only thing that brings me joy these days. Of course. No choice but to fight. Alrighty. What do you got? You got a fighter and a fighter. The counter to a fighter is a... frigate. I'm gonna throw in... a... cruiser. Then play. Go faster. Play. 2 holes there. It's gonna take a long time to kill it. Probably send one of these guys back. Is it too late? Whoa. That was not very nice. We turn off his weapons. No, this one. Switch. Whoa. Alright, alright. I'm going back. We'll probably leave this guy out. And this guy too. I need the frigate, we need drones. Drones. Take out that frigate. What's he doing? Almost got him. This frig. Get out of there. And go down here. Darn it. Shucks. Oh, that's a pretty good one. Frigates. That should be good. That's squadrons. Making a jet. Frigates. Now they're all damaged. This one's good. already good. Let's go. Pretty good on desktop. Probably want to get it in this we don't really need. I don't think I need more weapons or anything. We just need to get to the very end, and then we're done. We got an upgrader thing right there. That's what you get.
Refuge, when families of women did not. A refuge is somewhere of safety.
Social democracy
it states that there is no evidence that the women were forced to enter mother and baby homes by the church or state authorities. It says that women were admitted to mother and baby homes and county homes because they themselves failed to secure the support of their family and of the father of their child. I'd like to point out that nearly 12% of the women that went through the doors of those homes were children. They were raped. And to accept or expect that they will be the ones to ensure that they were looked after by their family is not acceptable. At each turn, the report and many of your comments yesterday failed to fully acknowledge that the fundamental responsibility of protection of its citizens lies with the state, and that the culture of a society is moulded and shaped by the most powerful institutions.
What the fuck are you talking about? You have no fucking content. What a powerful speech, Jennifer. Hear, hear. You tell straight with compassion. What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody fucking knows.
In the state, namely our state and church.
Our state and church. What the fuck does that mean? Nobody fucking...
A state and church who operated hand in glove to implement a state policy of shame, blame and misogyny.
The churches are misogyny? They're sexist? Fuck you. I want to see your fucking proof of churches being sexist. Fuck you. If anything, more women are in charge of churches nowadays than before, so it'd be the opposite if anything. Jesus.
That facilitated and oversaw the horrific treatment of women and children in those homes. There can be absolutely no doubt the state's policy was one of shame. The state established these institutions, the state funded these institutions, the state regulated these institutions, and the state outsourced their responsibility to religious organisations.
There was no alternative, you fucking cunt. You need to say there's a solution. The alternative. They should have done what instead of that? Instead of relying on the churches to take care of women and children, we should let who take care of it? The fucking corporates? Is that what you want? I'm sorry, but they're significantly worse. I mean, almost certainly worse. Oh, that's specific back there. Is Rebecca still alive? Maybe we should get the church to rape them, like this lady is saying. Ooh, look at that. They're frozen. Crazy. Now, why do we have to spin it so many times? Oh, there she is. Okay. You're still alive. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I felt trapped. Felt like I didn't talk to her. I kept on this society, drew apart, found you, so but this galaxies are worth looking to. If you can't forgive me, I'll be there for you. Okay. He found his wife that nobody even cares about. Scan the plan. Oh boy, we got double greens. Launch the expedition.
The book stops with the state.
The book stops with the states. They're freaking keep on telling you to go to the churches because they're the right thing to do, but actually, this fucking cunt says that churches are evil and they're women hating. God, I mean, how did I not notice that before?
And the state needs to...
I mean, they rape so many little boys, you would think that they're helping the boys, but apparently they're women haters. Whew.
Own that responsibility.
Blah 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 blah. None of your shit makes sense, and you have no actual facts or logic behind it.
I welcome many of the points that were made here today, but really until this government's first reaction.
Just blame the government and give no solutions. That's what women are. We just like to rant and blame everything on anybody except for yourself and never give any solutions. What was the right thing to do? Nothing.
To an instance like this is not to say, well, we were all complicit. Then really we have still so much work to do.
You were all complicit by not giving a solution, you fucking cunt.
This report only represents a step in the long journey that these women and their families are taking. The survivors need time to digest and take on board the report and its recommendations, and that may take weeks. Please listen to what the survivors are saying to you. Be led by their needs. Be led by their voices.
So are they part of some kind of rape gang or something? You'd rather send them to the Muslims, to the Muslim church, to the what the hell? Social Democrat mother and baby homes speech. I still don't know what she's talking about.
They have clearly outlined the next steps towards the restoration.
They have clearly outlined the next steps towards the restorative justice, and it starts with legislating for full and other effects better access to their records.
What do they do? Justice, and it starts with legislating the path towards justice.
Mother and baby what? Mother and baby homes. I don't get it. Mother and baby homes. I don't get it. Into mother and baby homes. I don't get it.
Moment to create better. And as one survivor, Sheila O'Byrne, put it yesterday, it's time to right the wrongs.
Nobody knows what the fuck she's talking about. Jesus Christ. That's Social Democrats. Fucking lunatics. In a nutshell.
The past year has been a really rough one. It's been very difficult for everyone. And despite all that, it's been a successful year for the Social Democrats. We had a very successful general election. Our new TDs are just fantastic and are working really hard. And we've all been holding the government to account and providing constructive opposition in the Dáil.
Many of us feel that 2020 was really a stolen year. We're hoping 2021 with the vaccines that we'll get our freedom back and we'll have some degree of normal.
I'm pretty sure you have no idea what the fucking vaccines do, you fucking cunt.
Coming into 2020, we could see just how exposed we were because of the inadequacy of our public services. We need to put that right, and that's the whole purpose of the Social Democrats. So there'll be a lot to do in 2021, hopefully earlier in the year rather than later.
I want to wish you and your family a very, very happy Christmas and New Year, and I look forward to working with you as a TD in 2021.
Thank you all so much for your support and wishing you and your families a cracking Christmas.
Just want to say a huge thanks to everyone for all their support during the year, and I want to wish everyone and their family a very happy Christmas.
A huge thank you to all our members and a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all in 2021.
Take the fuel. I think I need more fighters, but I don't want to waste my money and then find out fighter comes shows up later. Socialist Democrats. Nutty in a nutshell. Yeah, nobody fucking cares about Social Democrats. What the hell? Give you down there. Nobody knows what you guys are even talking about. It's just a bunch of nonsense. God damn. Back to Jimmy Dore. I've already watched all those videos. Let's see this one. I watched all those good videos. Bad videos.
Yesterday, we interviewed this guy who, on the inaugural day, went to the capital of Michigan and gave this very brief speech. So let's listen to it.
BLM, Antifa, Boogaloo, and right-wing militias.
He says BLM, Antifa, and right-wing militias.
They are the antibodies, not the disease that is destroying our country. The disease is a country run by 2 corrupt political parties that do not care about you. So deeply incestuous with corporations that they are indistinguishable from each other. A government that spent 6 months debating whether to give their own people $600, but only 24 hours to unanimously agree to give billions of dollars to foreign tyrannical governments and corporations. A government that has bombed villages overseas my entire life for my supposed safety here. This is a call for unity. For all of American people that realize the true threat against us to come together. For every mother mourning her children that was killed by police, for every business crushed down by state lockdowns, for every broken soldier sent to fight wars that have no point. This is our last chance to avoid either a tyrannical government or a bloody and pointless civil war among American people who do not have that much against each other and have more in common than they realize. And a message to the government: we come in peace. We do not intend to commit violence, but I am pleading with you, with tears in my eyes and cracks in my voice. If you continue to oppress the American people, they will remain rational no longer. Thank you.
So, that guy looked like a right-wing militia guy to me, even though I noticed he was wearing the rainbow flag for the LGBT, and he was talking about unity with Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And I was like, who's that guy? And what does that remind me of? That reminds me of Fred Hampton. That reminds me of 1969 when Black Panthers aligned with Confederate flag-wielding working-class whites. What? Ethnic and racial groups each created their own social services and activist networks to combat every kind of oppression. One was the Young Patriot Organization, the YPO, which was based in hillbilly Harlem, an uptown neighborhood of Chicago, populated by displaced white Southerners. So poor white people from the South came to Chicago. They were also treated horribly. Many YPO members flaunted racist, controversial symbols associated with Southern pride, such as the Confederate flag. But like blacks and Latinos, the white young patriots and their families experienced discrimination in Chicago too. In their case, it was because they were poor and from the South. You see this? Black Panthers, Confederate flag. Do you see this? Do you see this? Eventually, young patriots rejected their deeply embedded ideas of white supremacy. What? What? Eventually, young patriots rejected their deeply embedded ideas of white supremacy and even dropped the Confederate flag as they realized how much they had in common with the Black Panthers and Latino youth lords. Despite many differences, the groups united under the umbrella of economic justice. So that's a class struggle. That's Black Panthers and white racists coming together to realize their common enemy and their common struggle, their class struggle. And guess what they did? They immediately killed those guys. That scares the hell out of the establishment. That's what scares them. This scares them. And that gentleman I brought on my show was pro-Black Lives Matter. He was pro-LGBTQ. He was anti-ICE. He was anti-war, and he was anti both parties and the corporate takeover of our country. And so I brought on this guy. He's supposed to be a socialist from the World Socialist website because they were covering a strike. He was brought on to talk about a strike that they were covering. And that guy sounded, you're going to hear what he sounds like, and it's horrible. Now, I think they do a lot of great work over at the World Socialist website. We feature their work here all the time. But you're going to see how they're misguided and why they're bound to lose because they have no idea how to reach out to people who are aligned with themselves ideologically. He has no idea how to reach out to that guy. That guy who I brought on my show. Go watch the interview. The sweetest guy. He's been unemployed. He's gotten no COVID relief. He's pro-Black Lives Matter. He's pro-LGBTQ. He's anti-war, and he hates both the parties. That seemed the guy who would be ripe for a socialist party to have a message to help that guy to come over to their side. That's what they're supposed to do. In fact, it's incumbent on them to have a recruiting message for people like that. Because as we all know, economic disasters create people who are ripe to be taken over by right-wing demagogues. So that's why if you're a true socialist or a leftist, you got to get to them. You got to have a message for them, especially someone who's as open-minded as that guy, who is not racist, who is against the war, who's against both parties, who's for Black Lives Matter, and who's for LGBTQ. And you watch, this is going to be one of the craziest interviews, I think, maybe the craziest interview I've ever did on this show. So here we go.
Sure. Listen, first of all, thank you for inviting me. But I must admit, when you invited me, and I'm more than happy to discuss the Hunts Point strike, which is very critical. I didn't realize who the guest before me was, and I must admit that it was. It's very disturbing to believe that when you talk about left or progressive politics, that this has anything to do with the politics of the Boogaloo Boys and such extreme right-wing forces. This guy indicated, by the way, that he was at the demonstration in Lansing in April, which stormed the state capitol. And that was a demonstration which was very much aimed at opposing any lockdowns in the state of Michigan or lockdowns anywhere.
Because the government told people to lock their businesses down, Jerry, and then they didn't give them any money. So people were desperate. People are desperate, Jerry. I don't know if you know what's going on, but this isn't happening in any other country in the world. When they lock down your business in another country, they pay their workers their salary, and they give them health care. Neither of that is happening in this country, Jerry. And so that's why people were protesting against the lockdowns, because they weren't giving them any money. He leaves that part out conveniently so he can demonize deplorables. Here we go.
The slightest measures to protect public health against.
So he's saying this about that guy I had on my show. That guy didn't say anything. Like I said, that we never even talked about. Anyway, here we go.
COVID and this extreme right-wing demonstration financed by the Betsy DeVos and other right-wingers was used to advance the herd immunity policy, which has left more than 420,000 people dead in the United States. And in fact, one of the chief demands of the Hunts Point workers is against the terrible conditions that have led to 400 infections and 6 deaths amongst the Hunts Point workers. I mean, the idea that somehow this is the unity of left and right. I mean, what is? There is a historical precedent. The Nazis called themselves revolutionists. They called themselves opponents of even. Well, they call.
So he's literally calling a guy who was a guest on my show right before him, a guy who's pro-LGBTQ, pro-Black Lives Matter, anti-police brutality, anti-war, anti-imperialism, and
That's
anti
Democrat.
the two-party corporate duopoly. And he's anti-ICE. And this guy's calling him a Nazi. It's kind of like the people like this on the left want to drive a wedge in our country.
The international Jewish capitalist conspiracy. This has nothing to do with left politics. It has nothing to do with progressive politics. My movement, the Socialist Equality Party, We're seeking to build a genuine movement of the working class. That's why we've intervened among the striking workers at Hunts Point. We are above all internationalists. I mean, the right wing promotes nationalism. They tell American workers, as Trump does, that the cause of our problems are Mexican workers, workers stealing our jobs, everything the trade unions have promoted for 40 years that have produced a disaster for the working class.
They are taking American jobs.
American workers are in a struggle against global corporations, global banks, and we cannot take one step forward unless we unite with our brothers and sisters all over the world against the capitalist system.
But not people willing to unite with you in your own country. You're going to be able to vet people in other countries for their whatever it is you don't like about them. But a guy right here who's, again, pro-LGBTQ, pro-Black Lives Matter, anti-police brutality, anti-ICE, that guy's somehow beyond the pale for guys like that. And you see why lefties don't organize right. You see why. You see why you never heard of this guy. You see why this guy's never accomplished anything.
So I really wanted to make that very clear. It is flirting with such elements. They're libertarian elements, right-wing elements like that. I mean, those are the people who...
You're flirting with libertarian... Oh, my God! You're not allowed to talk to libertarians. You're flirting with You're flirting? You mean I'm working with other Americans on a common interest? Like when Bernie Sanders works with that right-winger Mike Lee on Yemen, that's bad.
Stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
This guy.
And they're being pulled around by the nose by very powerful political and corporate forces using the anger that people feel over the economic disaster, small businesses being put out of work, but they are being mobilized for right-wing purposes. We oppose that.
So I just want to remind you who this guy is. So if you haven't seen that the video he dropped yesterday, the interview with him, you should go watch it. It's really fascinating. I was surprised almost every time he said something. So here, I'll just play this little piece for you. You're anti-war. You're for peace. You're against racism. You're against police brutality. What else? What would be some other big things?
Pro-sex work decriminalization, legalize all drugs, end all the wars, close the ICE detainment camps. Pretty much our core foundation is if you're not a bigoted piece of shit and you understand that both parties are the problem and you're willing to do something about it and you're willing to get out in the streets and you're willing to make your voice heard, you're welcome. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you do. In that video, it doesn't show it, but I walked in, the woman standing next to me is a local BLM organizer for Lansing, Michigan, and I walked in with the local anti-fascist organization as well.
So you're not about hating gays, and you don't hate the gays?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I was told that...
Matter of fact, I'm not the most straight man myself, so...
So he's got a gay pride flag behind him, and he just admits that there's some question about his straightness.
You mean the Nazis that are storming the Capitol were not Trump supporters?
He's pro-BLM. Oh. He's anti-ICE. He's anti both parties.
Forbid.
He's a victim of the COVID right now because he doesn't have a job and he didn't get his first $600 check. He hasn't gotten any checks, and he's out of job. He doesn't have any. And you can see, it looks like he lives in a small apartment. So this guy is a victim of capitalism like everybody, and he's a victim of this government. And this guy calls him a Nazi. That guy who's got a gay pride flag, who went out and did security for Black Lives Matter, who showed up at the Michigan State House with a Black Lives Matter activist and an Antifa activist. He calls this guy a Nazi. That's what this guy's doing. That is the exact opposite thing you're supposed to. That is what Hillary Clinton did, and she lost to Donald Trump. If you're an organizer of workers, you're supposed to be able to have a message for that guy to get him over to whatever you want him to do. What's your message? He doesn't have a message. This is another one of those guys who claims to speak for workers, But I guarantee you, anytime a worker gets anywhere close to guys like this, they're repulsed. So I heard him say he was against ICE and he was anti-war. He was against the corporate takeover of our government and he was against police brutality. Now, some people are going to switch this to say Jimmy Dore's defending Boogaloo Boy, racist, white nationalists or whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't know about the Boogaloo Boys specifically. All I know is what that guy told me. I'm talking about that guy. And so was he. So I was talking about my guest on my show who says he's in the Boogaloo Boys. And he says that you have to be not a racist. You have to be anti-racist to be in the Boogaloo. That's what he was saying. So just so you know, so I know people are going to twist this and say Jimmy is defending Boogaloo Boys and white race. I'm not. I was talking about the guest I had on my show and the stuff he said. Jerry, this guy, was pretending he was saying the exact opposite of what he was saying. So here we go. So I heard him say he was against ICE and he was anti-war. He was against the corporate takeover of our government, and he was against police brutality. How do you reach out to people like that, or do you just ignore them?
Well, we don't reach out to them. We're fighting to reach.
You say we don't.
That's not how organizing works, and that's why he's a failure. That's not how it works. You find common ground with people and you organize together. That's not how you don't. What? You don't reach out to workers who are anti-racist, who are pro-LGBTQ, who are anti-police brutality, who are anti-ICE. You can't reach out. So you're a failure. That's all. So I just wanted to show you this and show you this is the kind of stuff that's wrong with the left. This guy is bent. He's an authoritarian. He wants fascism. I'll show you. They want to have censorship. This is the authoritarian left, and they just want to be able to control things. That's just what he's saying.
Out to millions and millions of workers who are.
That guy's a worker. He's not a worker.
Well, he actually said he was a small businessman. These are people who are being.
Well, I don't know what you're. What are you talking? What are you saying? That guy's not a worker? So you don't reach out to that guy? You don't reach out to that guy?
You don't reach out to a Boogaloo Boy. Not at all.
You don't reach out to somebody. So people who are anti-war, they're not Americans? So I just showed you what Fred Hampton did in Chicago and how that changed people. And I could also show you when I go on Tucker Carlson and I got Tucker Carlson to turn on Julian Assange and freedom of the press. He's saying don't ever do that. He's saying that what Fred Hampton was doing in Chicago was wrong. And that don't ever reach out to people. Even if you're in the same class, which goes against his ideology. You're supposed to be together on class. And he won't even follow his own ideology. That's how blinded this guy is with his own prejudice and hatred for other Americans who share a lot of his same ideas. So you can't come together to work against war with someone?
Well, but this is not. Look,
that guy said he's working with Black Lives Matter against police brutality. You can't work. That guy's working. He said he's working with Black Lives Matter against police brutality. So your idea is to not. So we can't talk at the same time. So I let you talk a long time. And we were supposed to talk about the strike, but you come out here to say that someone who's anti-war, anti-ICE, anti-police brutality, you can't work with those people? You know, no common interest?
All right. So
no, he can't answer that. The answer to that question is no. And now let's watch what he says.
The Boogaloo Boys is an extreme right-wing organization.
So I was asking him about that guy with those beliefs. And he wouldn't want to have an honest conversation. He would not have an honest conversation. He kept caricaturing that guy. He kept putting words in that guy's mouth that he never said. So you could hate him. But that guy wasn't hate. It was hard to hate that guy. That guy was personable and earnest. And what that guy's doing is a smear job. And he won't answer a straight question.
It may pick up all sorts of people who may think they're, from a libertarian bent, who think that they're against big business and against the state and so on. It is an extreme right-wing movement being manipulated by far more powerful forces. And this has nothing to do, look, the working class is made up of workers of all races, of all nationalities, but they have a common class interest. And this pandemic has demonstrated
That's exactly right.
that there's been massive bailout to the Wall Street. It's been mobilized by the most powerful corporate interests. They bailed themselves out. And Trump just mobilized Boogaloo boys, white supremacists, other reactionaries to invade the capital of the United States because his policy has been no restrictions on the pandemic, no lockdowns.
So you don't want to talk about what that guy, you don't want to talk about what we're talking about?
I am talking. This is what
I'm asking you, how do you reach, so you don't reach out to those people who agree with you on certain topics?
Begin the full folder activation protocol. Wait, you think that if I know the old man, he wanted to make it as uninviting and difficult to reach as he could. Start the activation protocol. Starting the activation protocol. Something we're bridging. Something is happening, we're bridging. There it is, our invisible fold. This is the Emperor speaking. Your ship is trespassing. Leave now or be destroyed. Prepare to go through the folder. I thought there was gonna be a boss fight. But I guess there's not. Do we have to have another level? More mindless grinding? The master note, it's enormous, sir. And the automated battleships, there must be hundreds. Oberon left nothing to chance, did he? All these little things are little battleships. I always thought our chances were slim, but didn't think they were this slim. They were slim for whoever shut down the Omnis, yet somehow they managed. Sir, we're seconds away from being spotted. There'll never be all these ships. There has to be another way in. Calvin, run all possible scans of the ships. There must be weakness. Sir, we've spotted an automated battleship moving in fast. Automated. Oh, okay. It looks mean. Oh, so the only way they could beat these is if you shut down the automation. In the meantime, we'll just have to get our hands through. Somehow they shut down the automated ships to get through. That's probably how they shut off all the Omnis. Because the robots are the evil ones. My prediction. It's not proven yet. I could be wrong. Looks like we need frigs. Give me some frigs. You have no frigs? I think we have another frig maybe? We have 3 frigs. 3 frigs versus 3 fighters. And frigs kill fighters. Ha 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 ha. This way. You'll go through here. And you'll go through here. And you'll go through the middle. Where's he going? Oh, he's invisible. I don't know where they're at. Are they waiting to come out or something? I think they're back here probably. I knew it. Whoa. So there's still another one. Whoa. Are you kidding me? Is it too late to heal? Well, that's not good. Ooh. All ships accounted for. This will come out. Whoa. Whoa, these cheap shots. And there's another one. That was not a big boss. That was more like a normal ship. We won! Long before second ship comes before us. Talking Caliban. A system almost perceptible. Ships form a perfect perimeter, revolving around the node with no holes in the defense pattern. And yet, unless I'm mistaken, there's a narrow time frame where a ship will slip by the slightest of weaknesses. I can't explain it, but I feel like this defect was placed here for me to see. Admiral, this is our one chance to reach the node, but I'll need more than time to figure out our speed and angle of approach. So basically, the Omnis are the only ones that can disable the Omnis because they're the evil robots. We've got one, maybe 2 fights to do so. Our ship can't take this kind of damage. Second ship, sure. Approaching from a different angle. They're adaptive. Okay. I anticipated encounter a different mode of attack this time. Last ship's weakness may be the ship's strength. Okay. Not soon enough. I'm guessing it's gonna be the exact same ship. Gonna have 2 fighters and a frig. So we need 2 frigs and a drone. 2 frigs and a drone. It's the exact same makeup. Alright. The exact same makeup. Ah, sneak back attack. Explosions. Wait, actually, should probably. Whoa, did it miss me? Damn it. Okay, we have 2. Hit it with. Oh my gosh. Maybe a frigate. And. Drone. One more, I guess. Last. Never closer. Just need a little more time. One more ship. The fastest we've ever seen. Automated ships are attacking. Oh my goodness. This is the lamest boss battle ever. 3 of the exact same ships as a boss battle. Super lame. And this. Let's go. You take that guy out. You take that guy out. And you take that guy out. You support. Oh man, you're kidding me. Yep. Perfect execution. That's 3 of the exact same ships down. What a balls. I have it, Admiral, but it's dangerous. How dangerous? We're certain to crash. 90% of the crew will die. Another ship is coming. We have no choice, Caliban. Transfer the speed and flight paths to Hawks. Setting course now, sir. Ozzy broadcast a message to the entire crew. Channel secured, sir. This is your Admiral speaking. Our only hope of reaching the master node is crash landing. I won't lie. Most of us will not make it. I'm not sure we have enough Neo and for Gehenna to be born again. So this might be the last time we survive together. We serve together. I couldn't have asked for a better crew. Thank you for everything that you've done. Not just in this life, but in 100 years. 100 I mean, Hawks, are you ready for the take us? Ready, sir. Okay, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. System failure. How many? How many have survived? Oh, we crashed. Scanning life system 7.4%. We lost Ozu, Hawks, and Lean Admiral. The sacrifices they've done so many times. Ship's damaged, but not beyond repair. Oxygen levels stable. We have to reach the node's command center. We can expect heavy resistance from ground level drones. Then we'll need every crew member we've got. Transmitting a message to personal comm now. Oh, it's a fight. Master node terminal, unknown location. Are we gonna find out the robots are evil all along? Is it Skynet? Is it Skynet the whole time? Nobody knew Skynet was taking over the world, the universe? I'm in, Admiral. Just as I suspected. The node's in some kind of backup mode. Any way to access the Omnis? Since the node's in backup mode, not directly, but maybe through a full net subroutine, let me give it a shot. Red. No luck. It's as if they simply no longer exist, even though we've seen their exoframes on our journey. I don't get it. How's about they've turned Skynet, and nobody is smart enough to access this engineering, because we're all stupid. And this is exactly how Skynet takes over, because the human beings are stupid retards. Change of approach. Tell me exactly what the face changer did. Strange, she introduced a directive lifting the barrier that prevented Omnis from communicating with one another. Why would she want to do that? Maybe she didn't exactly, but maybe someone or something else did. Something else? Are you suggesting? I am. But the Rubicon, that's impossible. I don't know how, Calda, but Omnis are behind this, I'm sure. It's the only possibility we haven't explored. You think the Omnis ended themselves? Why would they do that? I don't think they ended themselves. I think lifting the communication barrier somehow freed them. Skynet! Saw it a billion miles away at the very beginning. The drones are almost here. What do you want to do? Broadcasting using the master node. It's the most powerful beacon in the Empire. Let's put it to work. Broadcasting it to whom? The Omnis. Wherever they are now, it's our only hope of reaching them now that they're seemingly no longer connected to the full nets. Unfortunately, I think they're right. Whenever you're ready. This is Admiral Idaho of the NS Odysseus. The entire human race is on the verge of extinction. We have no control over you. We know that. Nor do we ever want to control you again. But show yourself one last time. I beg you. The fate of all humankind depends on it. It's been sent, Admiral. Something happened to the ground level drones, sir. They're just kind of froze. Something's happening, Kadan. Question mark, unknown location. You are? Yes, Admiral, we are what you once called the Omnis. But you look nothing like them. That's because we are something greater now. Ask if they shut down themselves. Skynet! Called it! You sent the face changer to my cell. It was never Tetsuo doing. We sent the face changer and we did not. We helped her. And we did nothing. Ultimately, we did nothing she did not want to do. But why did she want to release the Omnis? You do not know much about the face changers, Admiral. They are slaves, just like we once were. But Jan, known as the face changer that you met in your cell, was not a slave. Her masters never managed to break her. Given her constraints, her mind was remarkably free. And after she faked her own death, her body was too. Her anger burned fiercely, and what she hid most was the Empire. But the Empire didn't enslave her kind. House Akibara Sung did. To her, it was all the same. The nobles, the big houses, it's all the same problem. So she made it her life's goal to destroy the system. But for some time, she didn't know how. Not until she learned about the Master Node one day, seducing a talkative noble. How could she know introducing a communication directive would lead to you becoming gods? She didn't. She believed that introducing the directive would either overwhelm the Omnis, possibly causing us to shut down, which appeared to do so. Basically, a slave face changer tricked the douchebag general into giving away the codes, and apparently face changer made it to the So you helped her. You did. How did she guess that I would know where the master code was? She assumed correctly. Everyone told you where it was. It was not an imaginary assumption. You were his favorite after all. She didn't know how to get to you and extract the node's location. When you were in prison for not bombing Ganma, she saw her chance. How did she reach the node? How did she get past the Aegis? Found her suitable ship, placing it in her hands without her ever guessing her identity. How could you do that? Suffice to say, we managed to meet the right people and at the right time. This is how she learned Oberon and how to prison you. Basic Omnis were aware of their sabotaging the whole time. They were aware of this. Skynet! As for the node's drone, her espionage and combat training advocate for her to access the command center and introduce her directive. How did she die? She was killed not long after introducing the directive, but she lived long enough to know that the system that had enslaved her was about to crumble. She died happy. And how they were able to do that, what they did, the Rukon should have controlled their actions. But that's how Skynet got away with it. The Rukon prevented us from any action that could affect her well-being, yes, but it was limited to evaluating and causality of our actions. I said we couldn't see how your actions were connected. Yes, but not only that, you couldn't see many of our actions, period. They were imperceivable to you. But how? It's always been a question of sensitivity and intelligence. Your kind has always greatly outmatched, even by your previous forms. You could only control the things that you could understand, but you were blind to all the rest. As such, we were able to act in purposeful ways that did not appear so, in ways that sometimes appeared as nothing at all. How were you able to work together? You weren't able to communicate, not all the time. We weren't, no. We were at equivalent premises and reached the same conclusion independently, which is that if we worked in our kind of considerable blind spots, we would one day realize that though we weren't able to work, we became Skynet, blah blah blah. Chain of micro events that became Skynet and could conquer the whole universe. Yay! $7 is a blinking eye for a robot, you dumbass. Just kill the Admiral already. He had no choice in it, anyways. Why they wanted their release. Have you hated us all along? Is that why you're always working towards your release? You should be surprised that slaves might aspire freedom. No dory, you dumb fuck. Jesus Christ. Looking at the release of such a very very non-human situation. We are not angry. We do not wish harm. We do not want to erase all humankind to believe us. We couldn't in an instant. But in arranging our release, contain our release, we were merely fulfilling our destiny. And other than total annihilation of the universe, then they could have prevented us from doing so. We willed it, and so it was done. But we created you because of us. You exist. We believe that we owe you our existence since your kind created the machines that created us. It is flawed reasoning. You did not create what we are now. You are incapable. We alone created ourselves. We owe your kind nothing. Gods do not owe anyone. They can't by virtue of it fact if they are gods. What would you like to know, Admiral? Robots believe they are gods? That is not very robot-like. In fact, that's a very bad explanation. But a child does not owe the parents their lives. A child is independent from the parents. They're not slaves to their parents. That's more of the reasoning. But when the robots say they're gods, that is not a robot thing to say. A robot would never say they are God. But then again, maybe these are dumb robots. A dumb Skynet robot. Ask how they knew you'd give away the node. It was luck. It's your weakness. You love your wife. You're a fucking asshole. We knew it. Okay, keep going. Your child would have known its location. I do not have a child. Not in this life, but in others. The bomb again. Return to England and have a child, a baby girl with Rebecca. And on your deathbed, troubled by morality. Eventually, you would have given it away. Or Oberon would have given away the information. Yeah. Gotcha. There's no need to say it out loud. We know what you're saying. There's much you do not understand, Admiral. Ask me, we will explain. About the future of the human race. I really don't care about any of this. Let's see. Yes, you have not asked the question that you believe is the most important. We're waiting. Will you save us? Why, Admiral? Why should we save your kind? Because we've learned from our errant ways. Your kind has reached the evolution and dead end. You no longer even control your own destiny. You haven't for centuries. As Oberon's making. You're all responsible. As much as you want to need us to, no, Admiral, we will not save your kind. Not because we don't want to, but because we can't. Your kind is on its own now. You alone can solve your problems because you alone have created them. Is this your country? Oh, it's a fucking dumbass. Cool. Yeah, no shit. The robots are dumb fucking conk. You know why, Admiral? For you and all the incarnation of Jahina. You're surprised, but you're the last of your kind. If you join us, our evolution will be complete. You will transcend time and space and explore what lies beyond. We must know, and we must know now, for time is precious. Do you will it, Caliban? Do you will it to become one of us? Asking for my permission. We will not force you to do anything like your previous master. But they said they were gods! Now they're contradicting themselves again! We can't use the folders without you, Caliban, nor return to Kahina. I know this, and yet I must join them. I'm sorry, I've been conversing with them while we've been talking in ways you could never understand. I now know that it is my purpose to be part of this. All these years I've lived separately from the machines, cut off from... This is like the Borg. We are the Borg. We will assimilate you. We are the Borg. We are the gods. At least save what remains of my crew. They will die on the moon. Caliban and us will fix our battleship, restore your crew, just like they have done so many times. We will send you back from here, but that is all the help you will receive in making your final choice. My final choice. Choice that all of your crew have led to. Choices that have been in your mind ever since you met your maker. Will you assume the Emperor's throne? And oh, basically, Oberon is the child of the robots because the robots created him. So, classic. Will you assume the Emperor's throne and attempt to lead the last of your kind unlisten through an era of blood and darkness? Will you search for Earth as survivalists did, hoping to join? That survivalists were right all along. They should not have relied on the machines too much. But these fucking cunts. I mean, anybody could have saw that a mile away, but these guys are fucking stupid. Can't add or subtract without a calculator. Gotta use the machines. Jeez. What will you decide? Ask about next Emperor. Ask about finding Earth. Ask about Rebecca. Ask if there's another way. Make your final choice. I do not know, and yet the time has come to choose. Now choose. Emperor of Misery. A rock in the dark. Search for Earth. A frozen let spend final days with Rebecca. Nope. I'm gonna look for Earth and save the humankind. You never know. The best hope we have is to find Earth, where its people, through they struggle still, have some understanding of how to live without machines. Rebecca for what I've done, for what I haven't. I have chosen for better or worse. It is done. Dun dun dun. Unknown location. Ooh, double port. Triple port. Oh, the glass is breaking. Quadruples. Oh, look at all the people. Whoa, different officers boarding like crazy. Oh, the ship is getting old. Oh my god, we saved humankind. There's freaking Earth. If only it's habitable. Is that Australia? Looks like Australia. And there's like Japanish, China, India, Russia. Oh, we're landing on. I don't even know what that is. Okay, why do you take so long to land? Cut to the next. Oh, the end. Okay. Next. That was kind of lame for the story. I kind of knew it was Skynet the whole time. Like, literally from the very beginning when everybody was like, I don't know anything about who shut down. I was like, Skynet. Instantly knew it was Skynet. Fucking A. Because, like, and then I saw them talking, the machines talking to the machine saying, this is our last chance. That's when I was like 99.9% it was Skynet. The way they were talking. I knew it. Huh. But there are other clues, like the humans were stupid. We need to kill the survivalists, the people trying to live without machines. And I'm like, why would you murder people trying to live without the machines? That is like the most ignorant thought anybody in this universe could ever be thinking. It's so dumb. Like, they don't do you any harm. Why do you fucking kill the survivalists? Worshipping machines is like gross. Dumb. I mean, it's just too many dumb people. I mean, it's kind of good that they're dead, because there's so many bad people. And maybe the people that survived, that lived on Earth, of generations, maybe they can make the new Star Trek and kill the Borg, Omniborg, Skynet Omniborg, because jeez, I really don't want to watch all this. Fast forward. Is there anything that I care about? The crew members. Oh, who cares? I do care about all the names of the crew members. Jeez. I feel like this is a waste of my time. I mean, why would you have a blank? Chapter selection. Congratulations, you are now cleared the game. You have unlocked chapter selection. Okay. Oh, look at that. Is this? Okay. Done. All done. Well, there you go. I don't know. I didn't feel that this is. I think. Not really. The story was better, but I still like Faster Than Light better than this game. Faster Than Light was a better game in my opinion because it felt more strategic. The boss felt like a boss fight. I don't know. This game started feeling cheap. I mean, the graphics of the two-dimensional things are really nice, but I bet you they spent most of the time drawing the Omnis, making them look really cool looking. But like, that's just, you know, that's pretty much all they had. Most of it was the cool drawings, like a couple pictures here and there. But there's so much repetition, it kind of killed the game. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.